Yay!
That was kind of unsync, not that good.
Mine wasn't that loud.
I spent the day editing 606, so I just relived the nick of it all like 2 hours ago. We haven't talked about the Oscar nominations. We were talking about the Globes, the Critics' Choice, and everything for that. We haven't talked about the Oscar nominations yet because they just came out. I want to first and foremost say how fucking snubbed Jeremy Allen White and Zac Efron were this Oscar season. They were so snubbed, and I'm so upset about it.
I didn't see Iron Claw.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the discourse with like the show just seems like they're angry about everyone who wasn't nominated. Like, we're all like, oh, we don't care about who's nominated. We're mad about who's not nominated.
That's pretty par for the course for the Oscars, though.
But, like, Margot Robbie not getting nominated for Best Lead Actress for Barbie, but Ryan Gosling getting nominated as Ken.
But she has Hillary Clinton on her side.
That is weird. It's like pick one or the other. Or, you know what I mean? Like, you can't... that is very strange, especially for a big blockbuster like Barbie, because that's definitely happened in, like, other movies, more dramatic movies, but a movie like Barbie, that doesn't really happen in the Oscars, where like one lead gets nominated and the other one doesn't.
But love Ryan, but I wouldn't have said he deserved it over Margot.
No, I don't think he'll win.
No, absolutely
and Greta not getting nominated for director. I wanted Greta to win Best Director at the Oscars, and now there's no chance of that happening, and I'm so fucking mad about it.
Who did get nominated? Bradley Cooper.
No, I literally was about to say
4 white men.
I
saw
4 white
men and
a
1
tweet
woman
that were
got
like,
nominated.
They were like, I don't know what's going on, but somehow it's Bradley Cooper's fault.
Everything is always Bradley Cooper's fault. He should have stuck to playing gay Ben McKinley in Wet Hot American Summer, and I'll stand by that.
Every bitch was saying online that they were like, they felt so bad for him at all the other ceremonies because he didn't win anything. I saw a lot of people saying that. I'm like, now all y'all hate him?
No.
What's the vibe?
I didn't watch the movie, but my mom...
I haven't seen it either.
My mom said she couldn't even get through it. She was like, the thing about Maestro is that...
He's like
spent...
What's that called?
A conductor.
Conductor.
Composer. He plays Leonard Bernstein. It's a biopic. But my mom was like, the thing is that Bradley Cooper has spent so long making this movie, and he knows everything about Leonard Bernstein, that when he's telling the story as the director and as the actor and as the writer, he doesn't really let the audience in on maybe like the little things that they need to know about Bernstein to make the story flow coherently, because she said like Cooper himself just sort of like fills in the blanks in his head probably from scene to scene, or like time period to time period. She was like, you time jump to like some really important moments in his life with like no context on how they came to be.
Weird.
Like it just assumes that the audience knows the trajectory of his career and his life.
A24 dropped the fucking ball not doing an Oscar campaign for Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White. I have not stopped thinking about Iron Claw since I saw it. I think about it every day. It is heartbreaking.
My bad.
I haven't seen any of the Oscar movies this year, though, to be fair. I mean, I did see Barbie, but like I
saw Barbie.
I did not see Oppenheimer.
No.
Do you know what the story is of Iron Claw?
Yeah, I read the Wikipedia page for the brothers.
Yeah, it's the Von Erich brothers, and like he's the one that's still alive, and you see him lose all of his brothers.
Zach?
Yeah, Zac Efron is like the last remaining Von Erich brother.
Oh, I saw that like that guy showed up to like one of the carpets or something like that.
He asked.
And the real story is like way sadder than the one in the movie too.
And I heard like they left out a brother.
They had to take a whole brother out because the movie couldn't take another death. It couldn't. It wouldn't have survived.
4 or 5 of them died.
There were 6 brothers. There is 5. There's 1 left. So 5 died. One
Which is
was
just
a
crazy.
little.
What the heck?
My brother let me know how the little tiny. One of them died when he was a little tiny kid when he was 5 years old. He was standing on the back of a trailer hitch. And it got struck by lightning, and he fell down into a puddle and drowned.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's like a 1 in a million type fucking scenario.
No, seriously.
That's crazy.
Weren't the majority of the rest of them like overdoses or suicides?
2 of them were suicides.
And then one was a health issue, yeah?
2 of them were 3 of them were suicides. One of the suicides was cut from the movie.
Damn.
Yeah, and then one of them was
Werther effect.
he was
That's
bleeding.
what I'm learning about right now.
One of them was he was bleeding internally, and he was like in Tokyo for a match, and he bled out. He just bled out internally.
That is so scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's fucking like there's
Wait,
a line
and they
at
put
the
that
end of
one
the
in the
movie.
movie? Is that
Yeah,
is that
one's in the
Harris
movie.
Dickinson's character?
That's Harris Dickinson, yeah.
Okay.
There's a line in the movie at the end when Zac Efron is sitting watching his children play. It's his 2 boys play with each other. And he just sits there and he starts crying. And they come up to him and they go, "Daddy, what's wrong?" And he goes, "I'm just sad because I used to be a brother." Like,
oh man. I should watch this movie.
Me.
Yeah, Lena, I feel like this is such a Lena movie. Like,
it's
crazy
such a
that
me
you
movie.
haven't seen it.
Let me look at the other nominations and see if I see anything.
Jeremy plays the brother. He's the Von Erich brother that he originally was not one of the wrestlers. He was going to be in the Olympics. He was a track and field star. He was going to be in the Olympics. But that was the year that because of the Cold War, we did not participate in the Olympics.
Well,
so
also,
he didn't
isn't
get
it like
to go to the Olympics, so he got tied up in wrestling with his family.
Yeah, the dad was like, "You have to wrestle." Let's see. I have not seen the Holdovers or
Holdovers is amazing.
Or Poor Things
amazing.
or Anatomy of a Fall or Killers of the Flower Moon. I really have not seen any of the
I
movies
haven't
this
seen
year.
any of them.
I've just been really off my like current movie watching game because I'm watching movies like for class or whatever. But I want to watch all of these.
You know what I
Zoe
did
saw
do?
Poor Things and said it was really good. I watched The Holdovers. Giamatti better get that Oscar.
Yeah,
Paul Giamatti
he
better
won.
get
He's
that
won at
fucking
all the
Oscar.
other awards, so I think he will.
They haven't announced the SAG nominations yet, have they?
No,
They have. Wait.
no.
The SAG nominations?
No, they've done like BAFTA stuff.
People are upset that, or I saw some people, obviously Sunny fans, upset that Glenn was left out of the Oscar noms because he's been in like he's been nominated in like every other award show this year
For Blackberry.
And when the movie first came out, there was some talk about him being a possible nominee, but I don't know what
other guy nominated.
Jay Baruchel. No,
Yeah,
I don't know what they're. Well, he really hasn't been for a lot of the other shows, but I don't know what they're claiming like kind of overshadowed him.
because of Blackberry.
No,
I feel like that movie didn't get as much talk as it should have.
Yeah. I mean, it got like a pretty good amount, but no, more like people were like, "Oh, a movie came out at the end of the year and sort of just like caught the attention of the voters and stuff," and so that's why Glenn was left out of the nominations. But I don't remember like what movie or what role that they like are claiming it could have been, but
I forgot that the SAG Awards are also TV, so there's yet more awards for Succession to win.
Oh yeah. And they probably will, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And The Bear is up for the SAG Awards, but yeah, the Iron Claw not getting a single nomination in any of the awards, it rubs me the wrong way. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. I cannot stop thinking about it.
A24 normally does pretty good too, and like they just got pushed to the background.
Like this could have been Jeremy's moment.
Their thing too is that they do not really campaign for award shows that well.
Yeah.
I feel like that's always kind of been an A24 thing. I mean, Everything Everywhere was like kind of an exception, and so was Little Women A24, Greta Gerwig's?
I don't think so.
No.
Lady Bird was though, right?
But
yeah, even then, Lady Bird like
A24.
I don't think they really campaigned for Lady Bird. Like, yeah, and then I feel like a lot of Everything Everywhere was really like word of mouth, and not official campaign. Like that's just, I don't know, it's just not something that A24 really does. I think
does it being a real story have anything, do you think, to deal with it?
I think they should have waited and put it out in February so that it was up for next year's Oscars. I think they decided not to let it fight. I don't know why, but like it's remarkable. I can't stop thinking about it. Zac Efron deserves an Oscar for this.
How did it do in the box?
I think it did really well. Hold on. Iron Claw box office numbers. Like Jeremy and Zach both deserve nominations for that movie. It has grossed $34 million. Named one of the top 10 films of 2023 by the National Board of Review, but can't get a fucking nomination for anything.
Oh yeah, it made its money back and doubled it in the box. But even then, like by a lot of movie standards, that's not a whole lot. 35 million.
It's very much an indie movie, but like it's an Oscar bait movie.
Oh, for sure.
It's an Oscar bait movie.
Me when I have $30 million.
I think it is kind of crazy that Maestro got nominated so many times, because that is an Oscar bait movie. If I've ever watched the trailer for one.
I saw one clip and I said, I'm gonna watch it.
If you've seen Maestro and you loved it, that's fine. Feel free to yell at me, listeners. But and I'm a Bradley Cooper head. Like, don't get me wrong. I ride for him a little. I was a big Hangover fan in my day, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he takes himself really seriously, which is like a good thing, I guess, but it is also a little bit his downfall. Like when he was doing Actors on Actors and he kind of like low-key shaded Cillian Murphy, I was like, that's like not a good look.
Yeah. And like, I know I'm riding hard for these white men. I am furious that the Academy cannot deign to nominate 2 female directors for Best Director. That's fucking nuts for me.
I think it's a serious bummer that Greta Lee was left out.
Yeah. Greta Lee and The Color Purple got really, really snubbed.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
really
I did not
snubbed.
hear like, and that's crazy too, is like, when that movie came out, I did not really hear.
No, all of a sudden I heard Oprah talking about it, and I was just like...
Isn't it also, though, like, movie that's based on a musical that's based on a movie? It's kind of like how the Mean Girls musical movie just came out.
Yeah, it's more of a remake, because the musical movie existed. It's more of a remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's, like, just notably, like, that Greta Lee and Margot got snubbed, and The Color Purple got snubbed. It's a misogyny and a racism problem on the part of the board of nominators. Because what the fuck do you mean Maestro got all those nominations, and The Color Purple and Barbie didn't get the nominations in the categories that they deserved them in?
Like,
fucking
what is
Oppenheimer.
Ryan? Is he up for Best Supporting?
Best Lead.
Best Lead? That's an absolute joke to me.
Wait, he's up for lead and not supporting? Okay, well, I guess to be fair, like, by screen time standards, he is a lead, but, like...
He's the male lead.
Supporting would make me go, like, okay, but for Best Lead, and who is he up against? Probably, what, Bradley Cooper?
And
Cillian Murphy.
Paul Giamatti.
And then one more.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh. Like, that's...
I mean,
I think Leo.
It's
probably
also
Leo
that they're
in Killers.
No, Leo was snubbed. It's probably I mean, part of it is just that like Barbie is a very unserious movie, and the rest of these are like
it's a joke.
And the rest of these are like dramas. But that's the thing is like comedies don't go to the Oscars.
Yeah, like I thought Ryan was great.
Like
he made me laugh.
Ryan
he made
is
me
not
giggle.
Up for Best Actor.
I thought he was Best Lead because he's the male lead of the movie.
What's he up for?
No, he's supporting.
Oh.
Is he?
He's
what's Best Lead?
Paul Giamatti, Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo, Cillian Murphy, and Jeffrey Wright.
Right, Coleman Domingo.
He's up for supporting. He's against Mark Ruffalo, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., and Sterling K. Brown.
Oh.
He's gonna lose to Robert Downey Jr. or Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah. What about De Niro? Okay, De Niro's done some clunkers in the past couple years. De Niro is very much of the mindset of one for me, one for them.
What is De Niro nominated for?
Killers of the Flower Moon. He played like the villain.
I ain't seen that either.
I really wanted to, but I got really busy.
Oppenheimer is nominated for hair and makeup, and Barbie isn't.
That's dope.
Excuse me?
Excuse me? Did you guys see Josh Peck in that movie? Yeah.
I might just be super Barbie neutral, but I just feel like I do just feel like movies like Barbie, like very, I don't know, like campy, don't usually go to the Oscars. Like, I'm surprised that it's in there at all. I just feel like I
don't even have anyone nominated.
Well, yeah, I'm like
the point with this one is not that it's campy. This was a movie made for women, and go fuck yourself. We're not nominating movies made for women because they never do. They never do.
Just nominate Greta and call it a day.
Was she nominated for Little
the
Women?
Script.
Oh,
she not for Best Director.
Put her in there and then kick Ryan out of there.
Was she nominated for Little Women?
Little Women was nominated. I think her only Best Director nomination has been for Lady Bird. I think she was nominated Best Director for Lady Bird.
Yeah, she was.
Three women have won Best Director. 3. There have been 95 years of the Oscars. 3 women have won Best Director.
Is Anatomy of a Fall? Oh, Justine Triet is nominated for Anatomy of a Fall.
Yeah. That's what I said. She's nominated, but God forbid they nominate 2 women.
Scorsese, Yorgos, Nolan, and Jonathan Glazer. And The Zone of Interest is a Holocaust movie, yeah?
Is that the Jonathan Glazer one?
Yeah, it is.
Never even heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a Holocaust film. Jonathan Glazer is the director, but there are some acting nominations, I'm pretty sure. Maybe. Let me see.
I just get mad when, like, because it's movies made for white men that get nominated for Academy Awards. Like, it's war movies, it's biopics about white men, it's movies directed to white men. Like, that's who wins, and it's so annoying.
What was American Fiction about?
I don't know.
Monk is a frustrated novelist who's fed up with the establishment that profits from black entertainment that relies on tired and offensive tropes. To prove his point, he uses a pen name to write an outlandish black book of his own. A book that propels him to the heart of hypocrisy and the madness he claims to disdain.
Is that the Coleman Domingo one?
Yeah, and that actually... Well, and Jeffrey Wright was the star, I think. That actually looks... No. Rustin was the Coleman Domingo one. This looks really good, actually.
What is Sterling K. Brown in? Is that also...
It's American Fiction.
American Fiction?
It's Jeffrey Wright, Tracee Ellis Ross, Erica Alexander, Issa Rae, and Sterling K. Brown.
Well, damn. Also, America Ferrera did get nominated, which is nice. It's nice that America Ferrera got nominated. And I think she's on a short list of, Hispanic women that have been nominated for a fucking Oscar in that category.
I think Divine Joy Randolph will win because she's won in the other.
She's from Philly.
Oh, she was also in Rustin, so she's technically going for 2. Let's see. Rustin, an American biographical drama about the life of civil rights activist Bayard Rustin.
Huh. She's amazing, and the Holdovers is so good. Do you know the plot of the Holdovers?
Yeah, it's like a boarding school, and it's like the last 3 people who are still at the school during a break.
Yeah, during Christmas break.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's a nice small movie about being trapped at school with a professor you really don't like and a snot-nosed sort of shitty kid and the woman who runs the kitchen in this just stuck at this boarding school over Christmas break. And it's heartwarming. It's a good Christmas movie. And it's Paul Giamatti is just he's so good. I love that. Well,
and Dominic Sessa, that's his first acting role. They literally found him just on location.
He is a 21-year-old from Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Yeah, well, they just I guess I heard
Hill.
The story. He was just on location, or he was there when they were scouting, and they just saw him, and they were like, "Do you act? You should be in this movie."
He's a 21-year-old from Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, I sent a picture who's coming to that Monster Mania, the original fucking Mandy Milkovich.
What's she going
Jane
for? I
Leary
forget what else she does.
I think for Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, I don't know. But
that show ended forever ago.
But it's Monster Mania. There's never really like a reason.
Like you could have
that
done
they
a
go.
movie once,
but also
80 years ago, and people would go to meet you.
But also the way that Fan Expo announced Cameron Monaghan
Candy Boy
coming.
Oh.
It's so funny. They announced him in one of the voice actor categories when like one of the other guys from Gotham is also going to be there. Announce him as the Joker from Gotham.
Yeah, but he's there for the Star Wars video game, right?
That's how that's like the category they announced him in, but like another Gotham cast member is going. Announce him as a guy from Gotham.
I know, but that's what he's choosing to be identified. He's like, yeah, list me as the guy from Star Wars.
Cameron's hit mainstream. I've seen more people talk about him since his like Star Wars gig before he during Shameless, he barely got talk if you weren't in the fandom. But Homeboy is a fan favorite no matter who you are.
I don't know. The lecture that I got to attend the other night, Signa Bauman, where she talked about her animated film, My Love Affair with Marriage. He plays the male lead in that. And she was like, he voice acted, and it was years ago. Like, and Emma Kenny's in it too.
Whose project was this?
But this Signa Bauman, and actually, funnily enough, Ruby Modine, who Cameron dated for a couple years, and Matthew Modine, her dad, and also famous actor Matthew Modine, is in the movie as well. But it was so funny because she was talking about him. She like put up a picture of him. She was like, you guys know Cameron Monaghan? Like, he's in Shameless, you guys know. And then people were like cheering. And then she was like, yeah, he was like awesome. He was really great. And then she was like, okay, let's move on. Like, let's just quickly scroll through everybody. The female lead is, oh God, what's her name? Dagmara Domichik from Succession, Carolina in Succession. She's the female lead. Yeah. And this was way pre-Succession. They recorded the voices.
Did you realize she's also in
2015?
Bottoms? She plays the mom of
yeah, she's the mom.
The really hot one.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that lecture was super cool. I wish I could have stayed to watch the movie because they were doing a screening. I'll have to watch it on my own time. But it looked really good.
Yeah. That's very cool. But yeah, I should try to get off. Maybe that I know
Zoe literally DM'd
Fan
me
Expo and
was like,
meet Cameron
guess you have to come in May. And I was like, I guess I fucking do. And then Amanda sent me the post not 10 minutes later.
Me wearing the t-shirt that's the logo
Dude,
for our podcast.
My hoodie is completely faded. It's insane.
So's my shirt. I wore it the other day.
Oh God. It's the same fucking convention where I met Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. Like, yeah, let me go meet Cameron Monaghan. Sure, that would be so fun.
What's the vibe difference between Fan Expo and Monster Mania?
So much better. Fan Expo's in a convention
sleazy
center.
Hotel.
Not in a shitty tiny hotel in Cherry Hill. No, it's at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. It's well laid out. There's a proper artist alley and everything. And even for how big it is, the prices are so reasonable. So reasonable. The most expensive one I bought was a Michael J. Fox autograph because the man, I can't believe he's still doing insane autographs. And even that was only $275. That's less than I paid for a picture with Jensen Ackles.
Honestly, Creation Net is a scam, and I will never give them my money again.
Oh, Felicia Day is also going to the same Fan Expo.
What's she going for? Mystery Science Theater?
Probably, yeah.
Just to hang out, to have fun.
But yeah. Are we ready to get into the episode, guys?
Yeah, I was about to say, is that all the news? Is that all the hot topics that we need to talk about?
So, yeah.
We missing anything?
Still, you guys have to watch Iron Claw. You got to find it and watch it.
I know. I have so many movies. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to keep up with the movies that I have to watch for school. Yeah. I'm and I haven't been watching any TV. And there's a void in my heart.
I've been a gamer recently, and my brother's sending me a PS4, so about to be disappearing.
Oh, I do love those clips that you sent us of the Workaholics guys talking about the bear.
Oh, should I post those? They agreed. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I sent Amanda. Well, I first sent Amanda a clip of Adam Devine on the TII podcast talking about Modern Family and how they won the Emmy every year until he joined the cast, and then suddenly they didn't anymore. I can't
believe Gemstones and Eastbound and Down and like never got any noms. That's crazy.
No, I mean, I'm honestly surprised that What We Do in the Shadows has ever gotten any nods. So Kyle was missing from the podcast because he's working on Shadows right now, and the last season of Shadows, and they were like, oh yeah, like, remember Kyle, like, went to the Emmys, like, whatever. Not like he mentioned it 8 billion times, but we never got nominated for our show that we made together. They said they got nominated for stunts once. The same year
That's
that
such a
Sunny...
funny thing to be nominated for.
Well, yeah, they were, like, the same year that Sunny also got nominated because Durst was talking about how crazy it is that Sunny's never been nominated either, and that he saw their appearance at the Emmys. But they brought up the same thing we bring up all the time, where it's like, why is The Bear in the comedy category? And they were like, Durs, resident writer, like, why is that? And he said the same thing that we've been saying, where it's like, it really comes down to hour, half hour, where if it's under, if it's 30, 40 minutes, it's considered a comedy usually, even if it's really like a dramedy. And then if it's closer to an hour, they put it in the drama category usually.
A timing metric to decide the genre is the most ass-backwards thing.
I really think they should just split it into... I really think if they're going to do that, they should just split it into 30 minutes and half hour, I'll be honest. Like, yeah. Like, stop trying to genre stuff, because I think, like, the way TV is going now, things are... And I'm sure even, like, back in the day, but honestly, back in the day, you used to have legit sitcoms going to the Emmys, like Arrested Development and Modern Family, and nowadays, like, they don't. I guess Abbott is an exception, but...
Just Abbott.
But I really think they should just split it into 30-minute and hour, because that's still two categories. Yeah, Succession's an hour.
And then
that's still 2
minutes.
Yeah, that's still 2 categories. But I guess then, like, it would really stifle true comedies that do end up making it to the nominations, like What We Do in the Shadows, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. What if they did, like, 30-minute drama and 30-minute comedy and then hour long? Maybe it would be too many awards for them, but...
Or just like, hey, does the show give every viewer an anxiety attack? That's not a comedy. Like...
I mean, half of it is the way that they submit, though, right? Like, the show probably figured it had a better chance to submit as a comedy because they wouldn't have to go up against Succession.
If I'm being honest, I laughed more at Succession than I did at The Bear.
Yeah.
They did give us...
I hope they switch over in this
They
next
did give
season, they won't be fighting Succession.
Special shout out to Eben, because they said that he makes them laugh really hard. Yeah. And they did also say Succession's pretty funny, but then they were like, no, but that's like a true blue drama. Like,
I saw this interview with like the Succession creator. I forget like what the context was, but he was like, oh, it was with Seth Meyers. And like Seth was like saying like who's like the eldest boy like thing is like such a scene that like it's not
I am
funny,
the eldest
but,
boy.
Like, yeah, I'm the eldest boy. Like it's just something about that line itself, the way it resonates. It's just like, that's funny, even though it's not a funny scene.
But then in context, it's just like disgusting to watch.
Yeah,
like it's literally like, like I cannot believe he actually said that with his whole chest, seriously, and thought that it would like work.
Stick.
But yeah, I can maybe post those clips, but I don't have to. It's what is it?
But I just like that there's a general consensus of like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
Oh yeah, this is like so a thing in the industry too. I mean, even people who work very closely in the industry like don't get it either, or like are upset with the outcomes of award shows. But yeah, it is episode 184 of This Is Important. Dry January just got a little damp. So there's that for you.
I completely missed the SAG award announcements.
Me too. I feel like it's one of those that I don't really pay a lot of attention to. Oh, a lot of people were saying on my side of Twitter that they want they think that Bill Hader will get some recognition for the last season of Barry. I don't know. The last season of Barry was not that strong to me, personally.
Nominate Sally.
It was stronger than Ted Lasso, but no, not even the finale. I'm like, there are mid-season episodes that are way stronger
I
than
said
the finale
Sally.
was.
Sally, not the finale.
Oh, for sure. When people are like, no, Hank. And I'm like, he's giving Gus Fring. Like, he's good, but, like, I don't know. I'm just like, he's not. There are, like, true disruptors in the category, usually. So
the male actor in a drama series is Brian Cox, Billy Crudup, Kieran Culkin, Matthew McFadden, and Pedro Pascal.
Let's go.
Yeah, Kieran will win.
Yeah, I was supposed to say Kieran's gonna whoop everyone.
Clean
again.
up. Well, because everyone's like, it's your last season and you never won, and he did the best work that he has done in the entire show. The only like thing that irks me a little about it is that when he gets up there, he acts just like Roman. And I'm like that is kind of the mark of a good actor, because when he talks about Roman, he talks about him as if he's a part of him. But I'm like, how much are you really acting then? Like, can we call you best actor? Because how much are you really acting?
Yeah.
He is making him believable, though, because he's, I guess kind of similar in just like mannerisms or whatever to how Kieran is in real life. But I don't know. It's like a weird thing to me.
Zoe says Kieran plays himself in everything.
Low-key. But like, I do think he deserves to win, because I do think what he did with Roman in this last season particularly was really, really good. But then he gets up and he acts like Roman on stage. And I'm like, oh, so
outstanding performance by a male actor in a comedy series at the SAG Awards is Brett Goldstein versus Bill Hader versus Eben Moss-Barack versus Jason Sudeikis versus Jeremy Allen White.
Whoa.
Jeremy's cleaning up. I don't even know what to say. Like, Brett, get out of here. Jason, get out of here. Bill was phoning it in the last season, not gonna lie.
Eben might be Jeremy's only competition.
No, seriously, because it's like, but also it's like their characters do very different things.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even know.
Quinta is up against Io. Quinta and Io are against each other in the same category.
Beef. Oh yeah, speaking of limited series Beef, won everything.
They're nominated.
I never watched it. I was just
Me
late
either,
to the party. And then because
on it.
I was late to the party, all of the allegations came out, and now I would feel bad about watching it. So
I also hate Ali Wong.
Really? She's
dating Bill Hader.
I know. She did an entire stand-up special about how badly she wanted to cheat on her husband, and then her husband left her.
Oh.
Oh, real?
Crazy.
Yes.
I knew that she talked about her husband a lot.
Special.
I knew that she talked about her husband a lot, and then also I knew that she talked about how she ate ass, maybe ? And so people are like, "Oh, Bill Hader's definitely getting his ass ate." Which is a weird thing to say about anyone.
Special was about how badly she wanted to cheat on her husband. It was the whole special.
Interesting.
That's bold of her.
Anyway, back into the episode. And this is the episode of The Luck We Had, a shameless recap podcast, where we are recapping season 6, episode 7, Pimp's Paradise. As I said, just before this recording, I finished editing 606 and remembering the tragedy of 606. And in this episode, we have to deal with the fallout of that. And it's just, Ethan's putting in some fine work in this episode, I will say.
Which is weird, because then they like never let him do it again.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, you got your little bit.
He balled too hard.
This episode aired, the last one was on Valentine's Day, so this one's the next week, February 21st, 2016. It was written by Dominique Mauricio, a story editor on the whole of seasons, all of this season and all of season 7. This is the only episode where Dominique is also credited as a writer, was also credited as a writer on 705 Own Your Shit, 804 Paying It Forward, and 809 The Fugees.
I don't remember that one.
I thought it was just called Refugees. Is that a typo?
That was like seasons. That was like two episodes ago.
Oh,
was the Refugees.
The Fugees.
In
1 second.
Yeah. Pause. Oh, both of us.
You can go ahead and keep reading, but
no, was I wrong? Let me see. Shameless.
No, you're right. I just don't remember this episode.
Yeah, holy shit, you're right.
Season 8, episode 9, The Fugees.
It's got Cassie in it, that's why. Oh, it's also got Trevor in it, that's why I don't remember it. I blocked it out. I fully blocked it out.
It's season 8. It's the lost season.
No,
it's seriously.
It's the Canada plot line.
Oh, I remember. And Svetlana. Okay, I remember.
This episode was directed by Peter Segal. This is his last of 3 Shameless episodes he directed. He directed 406, Strangers on a Train, 503, The Two Leases, and this one. He also directed really good, funny movies like 50 First Dates, Get Smart, Anger Management, and fucking Tommy Boy.
Damn. 50 First Dates is a great movie.
It's such a good movie. Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore make a good rom-com.
Yeah.
The synopsis. Carl struggles with Nick's absence. He really does. That's heavy in this episode. He's taking over the Gallagher home and making it his crib. Frank and Queenie rule the house.
Yeah, they do.
And Debbie returns when she's let go by Erica and Tyler. Which happens at the end of the episode. So, like, thanks, synopsis.
But the way she says it is, like, so funny. Actually, I'm 16. Bye. The
previously on is done by Lip in front of his class. It's like he's talking to his class. Who watched it? Did you watch it? Did you watch it? Did any of you fuckers watch it? Like, to the class. So funny.
That's a good
Previously
one.
on Shameless. Queenie showed up and right away started fucking Frank again. V and Kev have taken in a gaggle of refugees. Cancer mom is in remission, so Debbie is trying to seduce her way into the family. Ian is dating Caleb now. Boo.
Boo.
Helene and Lip's relationship exploded because Amanda shared that picture. Fiona broke down in front of Carl about losing the house, so he dropped a bag of money in front of her and told her to buy back the house. And Nick killed a child.
Yeah, don't worry about it because they never talk about it ever again besides in this episode.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, after the whole plotline kind of resolves, or does it resolve with Sean getting involved?
Helps in like the next couple of episodes.
Yeah, it's not this one.
No, I don't think it's this one.
But then literally after that they're like,
and scene. Go work at the fish shop.
So this episode starts with Carl unpacking he's unpacking his things in what was the boys' bedroom, but is now just fully his spot. He put a queen bed in where Ian's bed was. Like, that is his room now. And speaking of a queen in bed, Queenie and Frank are fucking loud. They are fucking loud in this house. And Ian walks by with like Liam between his legs and he puts his hands over Liam's ears and they like shuffle down the hallway.
I remember that shot. I remember that shot too because people kept posting that screenshot of him doing that because his muscles looked really good. People were like,
good.
Look.
Ian looks good in season 6. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, he's very like disheveled. Yeah.
This is when he is in the midst of like bouncing back and forth between Shameless and Gotham too.
So he's got that like spiky ass hair, I remember.
Yeah. Carl gets a call about a delivery of some kind, and then he sits in front of a box of Nick's things. Like it's just a box that says Nick stuff on it, and he's so sad. There's an air of sad over this whole episode. And we cut to Fiona, who is waking up naked in Sean's bed at Sean's place. She's been away from the house for a few days, but now she needs to get... So did she buy the house and then just not move into it?
Seems like it. Carl's been fucking designing the place.
Yeah. She just got wrapped up with Sean, I guess.
Because she walks in and is like, what the fuck?
Or Carl was like, I'll handle it. And Fiona was like, okay.
Like when she got custody of them and then immediately was like at her boyfriend's house all the time. She bought the house back and is immediately at her boyfriend's house all the time. Fiona!
Can a woman not have hobbies?
Over to Frank. He and Queenie are playing house, making breakfast and shit. And I'll admit, Queenie's kind of cute. And like she's all domestic, but like my man has a type. She's blonde. She's fucking nuts. She like from this brief moment that we've met her, Queenie's out of her goddamn mind.
I love her. This seems sucks.
I love her a lot.
Frank are such assholes together, though.
Yeah, but
that's what he's like with every woman he dates.
I mean, that's why it's nice when they, fuck off a little. They're like,
That's why, like, he was like this with Sheila, but Sheila wasn't like this. Sheila was, like, just genuinely a good person.
Yeah. But Queenie is a scammer.
Yeah. And Queenie says she's only around for a little while. She's got to get back to the farm where she works as an herbalist. And he's like, no, you can't go. I'm not letting you go. And then the saddest cut ever to Lip and Ewan's waking up so hungover in Ewan's car. Like, so hungover that Lip is still wasted.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
And, like I can
in the
see
car,
the beginning.
too. It's like, oh.
I can see that this is the beginning of him sliding down a hill. And they flip a coin to see who's going to go teach class that day. I think Ewan's loses. He has to teach class that day.
Yeah, Lip is not.
I think like Lip like rolls back over and like Ewan's gets out of the car.
Fiona gets home to see Carl tricking out the house with a slide. They're putting a slide in the front room.
Yeah, where the stairs are, by the way.
And like big, gaudy, ugly, like I have money decorations.
There's
in the living room.
like a bunch of weed plants with like a UV. There's like a whole like DJ turntable. Like that place is like decked out.
And she goes upstairs and sees that Ian took over her room because Carl kicked him out of theirs, and Ian just kind of assumed that Fiona moved out. Which she did. She did do that. Carl and Fiona get into it about Carl claiming ownership, even though it's Fiona's name on the deed. He's like, yeah, but I fucking bought it. I gave you the money. This is my house.
He's not wrong.
And then she asks, everybody in this whole episode is so like glib about like, where's your buddy? Where's Nick? Where's the guy that was like your shadow? Like where the fuck is he? Because they've got no idea.
They don't know.
They've got
and
no
Carl
clue.
doesn't tell. He's literally
He just
like,
goes. He goes gone.
Like, whatever. Don't even care. He left. Okay. Whatever.
It seems like Sean might know. I think Sean knows from when Carl came to him like broken.
I think he
right
knows
after
something
it
happened, but I don't think Sean knows the details. Because I think they have like a conversation about it in like the next episode or two.
Because Sean asks, he goes up to Carl and he's like, well, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm here. And he's like, yeah, thanks fucking Dr. Phil. And he blows him off.
Oh, yeah. Haha. What a bitch.
And Fiona's like, Frank has a fucking bedroom in this house and I'm being told that the couch is still free? No fucking way. And she starts throwing all of Frank and Queenie's shit out into the hallway. And I guess Liam must be in Debbie's room. Because Debbie is still at Cancer House.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Liam must be in Debbie's room.
She's doing her own thing.
Cancer Mom comes in with Erica. Erica comes in with breakfast and gives Debbie a bonus. She's trying to be so subtle about the fact that she's kicking Debbie out. She's like, I'm so sorry to see you leave. Here's a little bonus in your last check for all the help. Thank you so much.
It's like, very bold of you to act like you did not try to seduce her 2 nights ago.
But then doesn't Debbie play dumb and she's like, oh my god, let me go make pancakes real quick. That's crazy. So you can't tell me to get kicked out.
Well, she panics. Debbie's sitting in her bed and she panics when she's handed her quote unquote last check. And she says she feels the baby kicking. And she's like, hey, you want to feel? And grabs Erica's hand and puts it on her belly so that they can hold hands. And she could be like, hey, why don't we talk about this later? When just you and I, just us girls. We slide over to the ball house where Veronica's mom is picking up the refugees. And the little girl gifts V with a homemade shiv. Like the little girl's like, here's my present to you. And it's a homemade shiv.
That's so cute. V's like, for me.
V is mostly pissed about how gypped they were by the church, whose pastor walks around with like a Gucci and a Rolex. She's like, we didn't get nothing. We didn't get no extra fucking help for hanging out with all these refugees, having them all stay at our house. And her mom's like, well, the church is broke. And she's like, the pastor walks around wearing Gucci and flashing his cheap, tacky Rolex everywhere. The fuck are you talking about? And then Ian goes to Caleb's place and brings him breakfast. Caleb is making a wedding gift for his cousin. It's an ugly ass flower he's making out of some fucking wrenches.
They like tried so hard to make him look like a good artist, but all of his stuff was so bad. So bad. I just think about that guy. That guy from the fucking the meme guy. I forget his name.
I've seen found object art. His is garbage. His is garbage. Caleb asks if Ian has thought more about becoming a fireman and Ian's like, well, I don't even know where I would start. And Caleb's like, well, start as an EMT. Start there. And then Caleb asks Ian to be his wedding date. Like today. For a wedding he's on his way out the door to go to. And then we go over to Carl at school, and this is when the show, for some reason, decides to give us white people subtitles for the slang that Carl and his friends are speaking.
This part's so stupid.
It is not even slang that's hard to understand.
They take a lot of, like, leaps in the latter half of the show trying to be funny that just don't land.
Yeah.
It's like oh. Usually it's something that steps outside the mise-en-scène, too, and it's like, are you serious? Like...
Like, what the conversation
like, you're taking me out of the story.
These are understandable phrases that you did not need to put captions on the screen for.
Like, if you're not stupid, you can understand.
And in this one, like, while he's describing, he's like, yeah, everybody come over to my crib. I'm hosting a kickback. He's like, it's going to be a pimp's paradise. So we get the title drop in this episode.
I think it's really funny that it's, like, kind of like Gangster's Paradise, but they were like, we probably can't say that. So then they like low-key reference 50 Cent a little.
I think the song's playing.
Is it Gangster's Paradise or PIMP? Pimp?
Maybe Gangster's Paradise, or like they've probably used that song during like a montage of like the house or something.
Maybe if they could get the rights to it or something similar.
Joining Lip at school, he's getting fired from being an RA. Not because he slept with a professor, not because of the disciplinary board, but because of the mural on his wall.
Which he didn't even do.
But
also,
it defaced the property of the dorm.
Sorry, can they not just like paint over it? Like, I don't know.
Exactly. But, like, it fully is because of the Helene thing, but their reason of firing him is because of the pain.
It's like union busting. They're like, you're fired for this dumb reason, but actually it's because you're, like, part of the union.
I thought the, like, whole thing was, like, it's such an anonymous situation that, like, a lot of the school didn't know it was him fucking the teacher besides, like, the school board and, like, that one student teacher. So, like, how would
I'm sure the housing gotta
know that
know
it was him?
I'm sure the housing... like the important people, like,
gotcha.
and then obviously anything relating to Lip and his student services because he's like on a full ride.
Yeah,
like I'm sure housing like found out.
Yeah, or Helene's husband might have done it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
Slimy bastard.
We go back to the Gallagher. He gets kicked out. He gets fired for being an RA. He's got to move out of the dorms today. Go pack your shit. Get out. Back to the Gallagher house. Chucky has been sent home from school. Why, you may ask? Because he did a book report on Mein Kampf. Okay, this is the storyline we're doing for Chucky today.
Yeah.
That he did a book report on fucking Mein Kampf.
I mean, it's loyal to what he's become, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
It's funny, when he comes to the door, Frank is like, fuck off, I'm trying to fuck your grandma. And then Queenie comes up behind him and he's like, oh, Chucky, what's wrong?
He's like, oh, come here, oh, what's wrong? And he's just like, fuck.
But Queenie's like, it's not your fault, Juvie warped your brain. And she's
like weirdly, she's weirdly right about that though, because it's like, isn't he almost like his IQ, it's like he's almost legally incapacitated.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, she's kind of right. Sure. But also it's like, well, it was Sammy who did the tattooing of it all.
Oh my god, fucking Sammy.
I forgot that she was the one to even do it too. Oh my god.
Queenie says that Frank and her can teach Chucky at home. And Frank's like, no. That's a bad idea. We shouldn't do that. I'm sick of Chucky. I'm ready for Chucky to be gone.
The only thing that made me giggle was like last episode when Frank's like, what have you been doing down here? And he was like, everyone's gone. I beat myself to stay warm at night. And I was like, oh my god.
At the alibi, Kev presents V with the vacation he planned for her. It's really cute. Out of nowhere, he's like, I've got us a hotel. It's got a pool. We need to get away. This will be really nice. And she's like, that is really thoughtful and sweet, Kev. That's so nice of you. And she's like, oh, wait, who's going to watch the girls? And Svet comes in and goes, I watch Chocolate Vanilla Babies for small fee. You go on vacation.
Love her.
And, like, this is a symbol of how far they've come in their relationship, that V is not even, like, no way is that woman gonna watch my kids. She's just like, oh, dope, cool, childcare. That's great.
Like, see ya.
And then we join Debbie at Cancer House. She's Googling lesbian sex positions to try to trying to act them out on a teddy bear.
Girl.
And then she picks up her phone and asks Carl advice about gay sex.
But
your note here, bold to assume that Ian would know anything about anything.
He has
or that
never
he
seen
would
a
even
puss.
want to think about it. We all remember the one time he ate pussy.
But, like, she's not asking Carl about
Wait, she
sex
doesn't
with a
know.
woman. She's like, I need to know gay sex advice so that I can reverse engineer whatever the advice is for a woman. So then call your gay brother? What's wrong with you?
That's silly. Well, I just remember when he was like, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, and Debbie was like, what?
And
then he held it up.
No, he's like, he texts her a photo of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he sends her, he's like, I'll send you a photo. And he gets off the phone. Because he's like, I don't want to talk about this shit right now. And he gets off the phone.
But no, Lena, Ian has his whole moment like next season. Remember? He has never dabbled with a woman.
I know, but like still, it's like bold to assume Ian would know anything.
At Patsy's, Fiona is a little out of it. She poured OJ into a customer's cup of coffee. And the other waitress is like, are you good? What the fuck was that? But then another waitress who we've never seen before, brand new, is like, keep an eye over there, that booth. They're dine-and dashers. They've been peeling off one by one. And then Fiona even burns herself on the coffee maker. She's so distracted. And Sean like pulls her to the side and checks on her. And she's like being away from the house kind of like put me in exile. And I don't like it. I like being in the middle of everybody's shit. And I'm not in the middle of anybody's shit right now. And I don't like this.
Well, it's like, girl, you bought the house back and then proceeded to like not be there for quite a few days. It's like,
and
I
now
don't know.
you're pissed that
you
everything's
missed a lot.
different.
Like you missed the whole moving back in process.
Like she said in the last episode, she just wants to be their big sister, but you like being their mom.
Yeah.
Like, and Fiona gets a call from the school. Good news, Fiona. You get to be in the middle of somebody's shit. Liam has lice. She has to go get him from school.
And then Sean goes to use it, like, then there you are, right back in it again.
And she asks him if he's going to come over for dinner, and he makes a quip about getting lice. And she's like, so that's a yeah? You're coming over for dinner? And then...
Isn't there a really sweet scene at the end of this episode?
Stop, I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the waitress who is always bitching about Fiona bitches about not getting time off for when her kid had lice for 2 weeks. And then Sean's like, 2 weeks? That's too long. That's too long for your kid to have had lice. And then the other waitress, while the dine-and dasher is trying to walk out the door, the other waitress fucking tackles him. I don't know what the point of that was. We've never met that woman. And it was just like a subplot in this scene.
I can't remember if she
Comedy.
stays as like a waitress there. I think she does. I think she shows up again.
Back to Lippitt School, he's taking the last of his stuff out of the dorm. And the girl who worked in the office where he got called to get fired is in the hallway and invites him. She's like, hi, I have a sorority. We need a live-in cook. Why don't you come be the live-in cook at my sorority?
And then
he's like, oh, wow.
She's like, here's my handle. And he's like, what?
Yeah, her Instagram handle. He does not know how to flirt with these college girls. At school, Dominique is a little bit offended that all of a sudden Carl just walked right past her. He's blowing her off. Because he's really, like, he's in his fucking head about Nick still. And she even asks, like, hey, where's the big friendly giant? Like, where is he? And it, like, kind of softens Dominique that Carl's, like, upset about the lack of Nick. He's like, he's gone. He's not going to be around anymore. And she's like, oh, what's this here? And she's like, why don't we sit here and have some snacks and not talk about it? And it's very cute. It's really sweet. What's not cute and sweet is this. Ian's at the wedding with Caleb, and he meets Caleb's parents. Caleb's dad is a pastor, which is so fun and uncomfortable.
No, that whole scene is just so weird, because it starts off with, like, them eating some food, and he's like, make it look like that's the best goddamn bite in your life. My aunt something is over there. And then... for him to, and then, like, they even after they walk away, the parents, like, Ian's like, you didn't think you wanted to, like, tell me about your dad? And Caleb's like, no, like, it's okay, like, I didn't know, like, it's great. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, Caleb, you need to give a heads up about that, about your homophobic pastor dad. Like, come on.
Who's officiating the goddamn wedding.
And, like, God, I hate everything about him and Caleb.
It's just, like, weird for him to be like, Ian is so classless, he's so, like, whatever, and then to, like, pull shit like this. It's like, this is just, like, rude.
No, he's literally just, like, parading him around. Like my new little, like, fun toy
my new
project.
little boy toy, because they're not even boyfriends, so it's like,
No.
My new little boy toy.
Caleb's only going to be more invasive of fucking Ian's privacy, so can't wait.
Well, I mean, that's, like, a thing that you should be doing in relationships, but he just is, like, he's judgmental.
No, but, like, not in, like, invasive, obviously, not the right terminology, but, like, the way he plays it, like, he's like, how dare you? And Ian's like, I didn't owe you all my life story. I don't owe you anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But then it's like, well, Caleb, you have secrets of your own, do you not?
Yeah.
I do know about one big secret that I'm fucking pissed about already, but I'm waiting to see
do you want to tell
how
us?
It comes out. I know that Caleb is HIV positive and doesn't tell Ian.
Yeah.
That's that plays into what we are talking about. It's like the overall conversation that I'm speaking of. But
it's
not,
how
I don't know if it's before
topic.
or after they've had sex.
Before.
I believe it's after.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I mean, I do think they use protection, and I feel like Ian, when they do use protection, Ian's like confused about it. He's like, really? Or like, something like that.
If you have HIV and you are about to have sex with a person, it is your obligation to tell that person.
Absolutely.
Let me... Damn, he has a last name.
No,
I thought you didn't have a last name.
No, Lena, I think it might be...
Okay.
He tells him before, I think, because then they go to the doctor, remember? Because Ian's like, whoa. And then Caleb's like, maybe you should. And Ian's like, whoa.
No.
Right? They don't do it. And because then they have like a whole moment
but
when
then
they
use condoms the first like couple times. But then Caleb's like, you should go get tested, because Ian's like, well, I don't use condoms like ever. And Caleb's like, well, you should go get tested actually. And then they go get tested.
Oh God, so fun, so excited for that.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
It's like Caleb like slut shames Ian.
Oh my God, I forgot. Kind of. Like, because on the wiki, it's like Caleb seems to be okay with his past. I totally forgot about what happens when Queenie gives Lip a foot massage.
Shut the hell up.
That's in the trailer for the next episode.
Shut the hell up.
Ah!
Weird, like honestly, top 10 weirdest scenes in this entire show is that Queenie lip scene.
Well, speaking of Queenie, she and Frank are at the school about Chucky's offensive book report on Mein Kampf. The school says it's okay to write about mass murderers. You just can't side with the mass murderers.
And let's note that the two people that they're having this conversation with are a woman and a Jewish man wearing a yarmulke.
A yarmulke? Yeah. Real.
I'm pretty sure it's a non-white woman, too. And Frank says Chucky not being able to do a book report about Mein Kampf violates Chucky's First Amendment rights. And then he goes on a classic Frank monologue about fucking liberty and justice for all. And it's a nonsense speech. It's a Frank nonsense speech. And then at the end of it, he threatens a lawsuit.
And Queenie's like nodding her head along too, so I'm like, she's also a bastard.
At the sorority house, Lip has an interview with the house mom and learns that the room and board is in the sorority house, in the basement. He's hired immediately. They need somebody to start right away because of Rush.
She's like, see you at lunch.
So now he's the new houseboy of Gamma Delta Rho. Kev and V arrive at their vacation motel. It's a shithole.
It's terrifying.
V like cleans the room. She brings fresh sheets and some candles and like is looking for bed bugs. She does normal like you're in a shitty hotel checks of stuff. And like this whole plot of them is just like Kev and V have a romantic getaway. It's so cute.
Isn't this part though when he's like, how did you know to do all that? And she's like, oh, I read the reviews on this place. Like I did my research. She's like, no, this is supposed to be a calm, fun, and relaxing date for you. Stop planning. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, the whole time he's like upset that she doesn't trust him when she's just really, she's a bit of a control freak. And that's
Honestly,
fine.
I don't blame her doing that to that room. That room was hideous.
But he's like, I'm trying to do something nice for you. Back to Lip, moving into the sorority basement, he overhears the girls calling him hot while he sips a flask in the room. And then we cut away from that. Just, again, pacing.
Well, I love the episode is like, and Lip is getting really into drinking right now, by the way. And we are showing this by him sipping on a flask in his room.
Yeah, it's like, oh, but yeah, just side note, guys. He woke up drunk, and he's going to be drunk for the whole episode, basically.
Like, if you didn't know.
He's drinking.
At the Alibi, Frank and Queenie are playing pool, and Svet is preparing to give Tommy some tooth surgery with a sterilized bar tool.
Oh, yeah, is she gonna, like, pull it out?
Rip a molar out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so real.
Ugh. And Frank tells them how amazing Queenie is and how he cannot let her slip away this time. But Queenie is like, Frank, we are terrible together. We're a bad couple. And she's like, remember how I tried to slam your head into a car door and how you told people I was nothing but a good fuck? And then I told you I was pregnant and you disappeared?
She was like, when I was pregnant with our deranged daughter.
He's probably like, but that is so funny because he's probably like, and yet you are better than Monica. Like,
Yeah.
And yet that was the best, most healthiest relationship I've ever been in.
And he's like, hey, things can be different this time. Did I mention I have a pregnant teenage daughter? And she's like, you have a pregnant teenage daughter I haven't met yet?
And I like this cut because then it cuts to Svet ripping his, like, she like gives him a shot and then she takes it.
It's later.
Oh, that's later? Wait, I thought
It's later.
I thought it's in the middle of the scene.
No, it's later. She's like sterilizing the bar tool in this
What
scene.
the heck? I watched this episode like a week ago.
What we do is we cut to Debbie at the house with Erica. And Erica's telling Debbie how inspiring it is that Debbie is choosing to have and raise this baby on her own. And how much she's going to miss having Debbie around. And Debbie takes that little nugget and takes it as an opportunity to jump Erica fully. And she's like, we could be one big happy family. And starts to like work her way down Erica's body to her pants. And she pulls out her phone to look at the picture of 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink that Carl sent her. And that's when she sees the text from Frank. It's Dad. We got the house back. Come home.
He is so funny for that. He was
But
like,
also,
oh, by the way, he could have just left her there. Who would have been
Are
mad?
you telling me it's been days since they got the house back?
And Carl hasn't texted
nobody
her?
told Debbie.
Like, she literally called Carl.
No one likes her. They didn't want her there.
Honestly, I don't blame them.
Also, it's like, well, Liam has his own bedroom now. Everybody's got like their own room now. Where would she go?
Yeah. But she gets the text and she's like, oh, by the way, I quit. I'm only 15 and I like boys. Goodbye. We go back to the Gallagher house where Carl is throwing a party and Fiona tells him, get everybody out. I have to disinfect the entire house. Liam has lice. And Carl blows her off even mid-party. He just leaves because his mind is somewhere else. And Fiona literally pulls the plug on the speakers of the party and kicks everybody out. And then another party is Ian at the wedding with Caleb. And Caleb's pastor father is staring them down.
He's saying some sort of piece about how it needs to be holy while looking right at them too. And Ian's like, you seeing this?
He's like, God sees you when you're naked. You can't hide from God. Okay. All right. And like Caleb puts his arm around Ian. Hate it. I hate it. Kevin V are at the pool in the motel. It's a pool that's in a parking garage, but it's a pool. And they look at the couple in the other corner. They're like, you think are they just grinding? Is it just the motion of the ocean? Or are they fucking right now? And V's like, I think they're fucking. And V like has her phone with her and she's like checking in on the girls. And Kev's like, can you put your phone away and have a little bit of trust in me that Svet has them and everything's okay? And it goes from him saying, can you trust that I've left these girls with somebody who's responsible who will take care of them? Hard cut to Kermit holding the girls in the bathroom of the Alibi while Svet pulls the tooth out of Tommy's mouth.
That scene is so good.
Like, Svet's taking care of them. It's fine. Kermit's holding them. In the Alibi bathroom. So that happens. And then Tommy is, like, in so much pain from her pulling his tooth that she puts one of the girl's binkies in his mouth. He's like, give me anything. Anything.
She uses that shit.
At the house, Fiona scrubs Liam's hair to get rid of the lice. And she starts... And, like, it's a very cute, like, moment she has with him in the tub. And she starts straightening up the house. She washes all the sheets. She washes all their clothes. And Frank and Queenie come home. And Queenie's like, oh, you shouldn't use chemicals. You should just put this oil on his hair. And Fiona's like, all right, I already used the chemicals. So, fuck off.
She's like, use this incense oil on the couch. And she's like, no, I'm going to throw it in there with fucking so much soap that you can imagine.
She's like, we've had lice before. I know how to do this. Leave me alone. And then Carl goes to the house of the little boy that Nick killed with a card full of money and a couple of grams of coke for the family.
His intentions were well.
Like, he goes up and he's like, I'm a neighbor. I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. This has money and a couple of grams that you can sell to, like, cover funeral expenses or something. And, like, he feels so guilty. It's so hard. And the family's like, please go away. Please.
Oh, that's when the dad opens the door. Because remember we were talking about, like, if the dad was in the picture.
It's both of them, yeah. And they're like, they don't know that he knows Nick. They don't know that he had anything to do with it. But they're just like, please go away from us now. And he leaves the card on the porch. Then we go to the sorority house. The girl who helped Lip get the job, whose hair is insane, by the way. It's like, it's a mess.
No, it's dope. She looks cool.
It looks like she just didn't brush it. It's just everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like a mane. It looks like Emmy's hair when they let her actually have it curly.
And she is flirting with him hard. Like, she is not being subtle.
She's like, I can come to your room later. When it is later. And I can come to your room. And he's like, sure.
I am free on Thursday when I am free. Debbie comes back to the Gallagher house and acts the part, and Frank acts the part of the concerned father. He's like, oh my God, my pregnant daughter, you've come home, thank God.
Even Debbie's like, what?
Yeah. And while this is insane, it's an insane thing for Frank to be doing, I kind of like Debbie having someone who's given birth in the house to be able to give her advice about giving birth.
I think Queenie has her flaws, but I think she did have, like, some good influence on the family, even though she didn't fit in with the family.
But yeah, no, like V's around. V has had kids, and Debbie can ask V things, but, like, she knows V does not approve of this baby. So it's nice. She's like, all of a sudden, boom, mother figure. And Queenie's there.
And Queenie's so comforting, and obviously the resentment with V, like, makes sense. Why she's like, okay, sounds good.
Back to Kev and V in the parking garage pool. Again, her phone goes off, and again, Kev is like, why don't you trust me? Oh, yeah, he got a snaps at her. He's like, you do this. It's kind of like she does this, and she doesn't trust him. So he's worried he burned her out with all of his... He's like, all of the shit that I put you through in the last few months, I'm worried I've burned you out, and now I picked a shithole for our vacation. And she's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's a shithole. It doesn't matter that we went through some stuff. Like... You stood with me when I couldn't get pregnant, and then when I was depressed after I was pregnant, and, like, you tried, and this is nice. And then they fuck in the pool in front of an old guy who might be dead.
I know, they're like, is he dead? They're like, I don't know.
Let's fuck anyway. And we go back to the wedding, and then Ian says yet another thing that slanders Mickey for no fucking reason.
What does he even say? I forget.
He says that the last wedding he went to was his boyfriend's wedding to the Russian hooker that he was forced at gunpoint to marry.
Oh, what a bomb.
Yeah, that's so fun. I'm so glad the writers remember a thing that happened in Ian's past, but still, that was rude. And then they get into a fight about Caleb using Ian like a prop, like we've said. He's like, hey, what the fuck? But then Caleb's like, I'm sorry. And Ian's like, it's fine. What?
Ian's like, lets that go so fast.
They're boring.
There's no chemistry. None.
Like, they're just boring. This story is boring. Back at the house, Carl's smoking weed and blasting his music, and Fiona goes off on him about why he's acting so fucking weird recently. But he refuses to tell anybody what happened with Nick.
Which
like,
I don't
is that weed?
understand, really.
Like, I think it's still a little bit of him processing it, but...
I mean, definitely processing what he actually saw.
Yeah.
For sure. Because that's, like, very traumatic. But... And also maybe just, like, reckoning with the fact that, like, his friend, who he knew had killed someone before, but, like, in his head it was, like, justified. Like, in Carl's head, he's like, yeah, the guy was, like, abusive. He was a piece of shit. So it's, like, justified. But it's, like, this is a murder that you really can't justify.
Yeah, like, something he also tried to prevent, too. So he was, like, if I was quicker, like, he's probably, like, this is my fault.
Yeah.
And it's probably him, like, holding a piece of the friend that he knew in his head. And he's like,
also,
he already knew his family didn't trust Nick, and he doesn't want to give them a reason.
Yeah. To be like,
also,
we told
he's
you so.
what? He's what, 15 years old?
Maybe.
Yeah, 15,
like,
16.
Is he younger than Debbie?
He's, like, a year younger, but the timeline gets all sorts of fucked up. At one point, Frank mentions in this season, Debs is 15 with a baby on her hip, but I really think she's 16 and Carl's 15 at this point, especially since he's, like, in high school.
Yeah,
like,
and he was held back so many times.
And he was held back. It's like, I think he's got to be at least 15.
And then Queenie comes in with Debbie and a bunch of healthy food, like kale and tofu and shit. And Fiona's like, she's gonna eat fucking kale and tofu. Are you fucking kidding me?
She's like,
and
tofu?
She's being pushed out. She's being pushed out of her kids' lives. And then in the sorority basement, Lip looks at the art book that Helene gave him, and then sadly looks at his picture of Helene asleep in bed. And then we cut away from that again. Back to the wedding! Ian and Caleb are dancing together, if you could call what Ian is doing dancing.
Is this when he's, like, grinding on him and, like, fucking,
Yeah.
oh my god, pulling on his tie? Ridiculous.
I can't.
Worst dancing in my entire life. They also meme the fuck out of that. Ian and Caleb is just a joke.
The shot ends with Ian, like, dropping it low, and that's where they cut away from the scene. I'm like, I wonder if Cam got back up. It's so stupid. They're like, we won! Fuck you. Just leave the homophobic wedding. I don't understand. In the backyard of the house, Sean comes up to Carl and he figures out, hey, Nick's not coming back, is he? And Sean's like, I've seen someone die. And, like, Carl tells him what happened. And Sean says that he's seen someone die, and you don't know how much that shit's gonna haunt you until it just does.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says there's no real way to pretend that it never happened, but you can always hit the reset button, like, and participate in your life again. And, like, once again, weird set of circumstances, but I like that Carl has somebody around who, like, gets him and can pull him out of this.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's, like, nice seeing the two kids have, like, a different role model as of now. Like, I don't know, because it's always just been, like, Fiona's mom and dad.
Yeah. But yeah, for someone else, like, Queenie's batshit crazy, but, like, she knows how to be pregnant. And Sean, like, knows what it's like in the life Carl is living right now. And then Lip is drunk. He's so drunk. He's drunker than he's been all episode. Banging on Helene's door, screaming at her window, throwing his beer at her window. And, like, I bet they moved. Like, I bet they're not even in there.
Yeah, no, they're out of there. They don't want to have any association. I feel like, especially with how many times it's already happened to Helene at this school, homegirl, you done.
And, like, Lip is spiraling. He is yelling in the streets, spiraling. And, like, and then in the Gallagher kitchen, it's a healthy meal of kale and tofu. And Frank and Queenie...
Like, those two items aren't bad, but, like, if you make it properly, but, like, they probably just, like, steamed both of them. We're like, dinner.
And Frank and Queenie cannot stop making out. And Fiona leans over to Sean and is like, can I spend the night at your house? And he's like, how about you move in?
Oh.
About damn time.
Oh.
And she goes, really? And he says, yes. And they get up to leave. And Queenie's like, so nice to see you. You're always welcome here. And Fiona's like, yeah, I know. The house is in my name.
Queenie was kind of a cunt for saying that.
And then Fiona is like, come on, Liam, let's go. And Liam's like, no, I want to stay with Debbie. Liam rejected her.
No, Debbie's like, I got him. Don't worry about it.
Like, that stings. Liam rejecting her stings. And then Ian and Caleb are walking back from the wedding, and they start making out on the bridge where Ian almost jumped a few episodes ago.
That bridge is, like, very prominent in this season, like, for some reason. That bridge we will see that bridge again in the finale.
No chemistry, no spark. It's so forced. And then Fiona goes to Sean's place. He makes her spaghetti. Like, when she had come home, when Queenie had all of the groceries, she was like, I was going to make spaghetti. Queenie's like, oh, we're going to make kale and tofu. And when Sean takes her home, he makes her spaghetti.
I love him. What a sweet, sweet man.
And he goes to kiss her on the top of the head, and he's like, there's something moving in there. You have lice.
It was inevitable.
And then later that night, Lip is passed the fuck out in the sorority basement, like drunk asleep. The way that you are when you are so hammered asleep.
I'm like kind of proud of him for him to get his ass back to the college. Like, he got all the way to Helene's house and all the way back to his dorm room.
There is nothing like a drunk walk. I can't help it. Plus, I'd have to assume Helene lives like relatively close to campus. Like, maybe
she has to.
If it's like, because, well, the college is in Chicago, but like, aren't they kind of out in the suburbs?
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. It's like she probably lives like near campus, but like not that far
in the county.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, the girl is banging on his door like to hook up, and he just doesn't answer her.
She's like,
well,
hey,
he's sleeping.
Do you want to hang out? Like, hey, you awake? And he's gone.
She's a little pissed about it, but girl. Back to Fiona and Sean. She is sitting in the tub, like holding her knees to her chest, and he's washing the lice out of her hair.
That's so precious.
He's so boyfriend. They're so boyfriend girlfriend. They're so cute.
No, I love them so much. I don't want anything to happen.
I know this, like, the one, I know the end of this season is gonna hurt me, because I am falling in love with him. They're so good together.
Dermot Mulroney, how dare you.
Fucking Dermot. At the Gallagher house, Frank climbs into bed with Queenie, and she's like, okay, you win, I'm gonna stay. And then we cut to credits. The after credit scene is Chucky giving his book report on Mein Kampf. And Frank ends it and goes, okay, I think you made your point, my young Trump. And that's how the episode ends.
Topical for
Crazy.
the time.
The credit song is Take a Stand by Pyewacket Cuco. No idea.
Next credits music.
Shameless. Next week on Shameless, Carl wants to get out of the gun running game, so Frank offers his services and gets high on his own supply. And, like, Frank gets cornrows.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the episode where Frank gets cornrows?
Yeah. Gets his boo-boo.
And Lip can't get hard until Queenie gives him a foot massage
that's
what's
in the synopsis? That's crazy.
Yes, that's what's in the that's what's in, like, the next on trailer.
Show all of that.
Yeah. They show Carl wants to get out of the gun running game. Lip can't get hard. Queenie gives him a foot rub and he comes.
That's what happens,
though. In the next time on Shameless. This one is decidedly less upsetting than the last one. It's still...
But it has very sad undertones to it, though.
Yeah, like the Lip of it all, the Fiona of it all, and the Carl of it all. Like, boom,
but Kevin
boom,
V
boom,
had
sad.
fun for once, guys.
I know, I did like that. I did like that they're just like, and Kevin V had a little romantic getaway.
Which is everything they deserve, yeah.
And then Svet is doing shenanigans. Svet can take care of the kids and the grown men in the bar. Everything's fine over there. Everything's cute. Also, Ian is there.
I hate to say it.
Ian's there, too.
Caleb sticks around until, like, mid-season 7. Right, Lena? Early season 7?
Early. It's like the first 2 episodes.
Go away. Go
then Mickey
away,
shows up
ya.
next season.
My baby
Amanda, how you
girl.
feeling? I feel like this is your season to talk. So
This episode was. It was an aftermath episode. It was very much an aftermath episode.
I feel like it's a good Shameless episode though. Like nothing too crazy, nothing too like upsetting, but it kind of just like gives you like, I don't know, like a good glimpse into a lot of their characters, like what they've worked towards to get to this point, and it's either like they're doing great or they're doing absolutely horrible. Or like kind of in the middle.
Yeah, it wound down some stories. It wound down the Debbie and the Carl stories, and it started winding up like Fiona and Sean even, and Lip's descent, and like it's winding up some other ones.
Because Ian stays in the
down some other
background for
ones.
the majority of this season. Like we keep up with him, but like,
I mean, he's got his
all
Caleb
he's
stuff,
doing.
but it's like he's really not making like huge moves. And maybe in their head it was big moves, but the fact of it is that him and Caleb are just
it
like
doesn't
boring
work
together.
enough for us to
so
be like, oh my god, Ian screen time. I'm like, but Ian screen time is boring.
well, it's that there's no fire there.
Yeah.
Like, not only is there no sexual passion, there's also no argumentative passion.
All their arguments
Like,
are just
even in a healthy way, like there's no like they don't fight in a like passionate way.
It's like a competition in a way of just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Caleb will always feel like he's better than Ian.
I mean,
in
they
some
don't-
way.
They don't share any like real interests. Like they're a match because, or they're hanging out because they are both physically attracted to each other, I think.
And
is
circumstantial because Ian never even fucking went to the firehouse for that
Oh
guy to
yeah,
begin with.
completely. It's for the other guy who's
And
married.
Ian wants to be better.
Yeah, and Ian thinks that this is what's going to like fix him, is if he has like a normal boyfriend who has like a normal job and a normal life and hobbies
Bad
and
hobbies.
gay friends. I guess it does sort of introduce this whole like Ian getting introduced to other gay people way before they do it like heavy-handed with Trevor.
Then they do it horribly.
Oh yeah.
That scene
Okay,
sucks.
remember when they go out with Caleb's friends at like the movie theater
Yes.
or something? Like the older
Yeah,
guy?
yeah. When they just have a roast competition. That scene sucks. Sorry, Amanda.
Ugh. This episode was good if you ignore the Ian and the Caleb and the Debbie.
I love Queenie. I
So
love
the rest of it
Carl.
was
I
good.
love Sean.
Queenie is batshit. I love her. She's
Yeah. No, I eat
batshit.
it up every time she's on screen. We hang out with her for, I think, until like the last couple of episodes, and then she's
like a nice
Yeah.
in between of Monica and Sheila. She's
chaotic.
she's just together
neutral.
enough. Yeah. She's very like Zen cult leader. Like
Yeah, no. Just wait till we go, Amanda. Just wait till we go to the farm, dude. It's crazy.
We go to the farm?
We go to the farm.
Oh no.
So Lena, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's next episode. I think it's the episode after that when we journey to the farm, right? Or is it at the very end of next episode? Because remember,
I don't
Frank has to
fully remember,
Frank has to
but they're there
scurry
for
away.
a while.
So that makes me think
They're there for like
until like the second to
2
last
episodes, maybe 3.
Okay.
Like,
So it makes me think next episode is when they leave for the farm at the very end of the episode, and then it opens up at the farm 2 episodes from now, I think.
Well, damn.
Yeah, no, it's entertaining.
All right,
And then
that's something to
there's
look forward to.
a big boy actor who works at the farm. Lena, which actor? It's a black actor. Amanda would know. The guy who plays like the main dude at the farm that Queenie's like involved with.
I don't know. I can look it up real quick.
This is 2 episodes.
It's the next episode?
Shameless 609. Oh yeah, it is 2 episodes. A Yurt of One's Own.
Oh!
I knew it.
I know who you're talking about. It's Jeff Kober. He was in a lot of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He
I
played-
I thought he was Sons of Anarchy, but he's too skinny in this show that I was like, maybe it's not him.
He played
Dope.
a white
They
supremacist on
changed-
Sons of Anarchy.
They
And
changed
he was in Big Sky.
Jeremy's IMDb picture. It's him accepting is that a BAFTA or a SAG award?
Oh wait, that's not him holding the
No,
Emmy
it's
anymore?
Is that a SAG award? Yeah.
That's a SAG award.
What, girl? He hasn't... Did he win one last year?
This is last year. This is the bear last year. Yeah.
Yep. That is not a good picture of him. What is it? Something Tom Holland always looks like he has a frog in his mouth. I think Jeremy Allen White's in that club too.
Absolutely.
All right, I have to pee, and I told Zoe we'd watch 17 again, so I'm gonna look at Matthew Perry and cry.
Oh my gosh, she watched that movie she literally watched that movie 4 days ago.
She watched it last night, Evan.
Oh my god. Guys, I love Matthew Perry and Zac Efron as much as the next guy.
So he's fully back in the Zac Efron era. It's fine.
I know, I saw she put her Zac Efron poster back up too.
She did!
She was posting all her hairspray art. I was like, girl, you're in deep right now.
But this was a good one. I'm excited that we are more than halfway into season 6. Because that means we're closer to season 9. But any final thoughts from y'all?
Nah, this episode did exactly what it needed to do.
All right. Appreciate y'all recording late tonight. And, we're ahead of the game. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Good to know.
Yeah. And until we speak next.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.